Okay, this video is to show anybody who's wanting to buy a KII meter, also known as a safe range EMF meter. I've recently purchased one probably a couple of months ago. I didn't realise till over a week ago that actually the one I got was actually a fake from China. This video is basically to show people who have already got one, or those who are obviously looking to buy one, to show basically which one's the fake and which are the real KIIs. At the start I showed you both the meters together, and to make a decision basically which one you possibly think is the real KII. Well, I can tell you now that if you chose the one on the left, you have a fake meter. If you chose the one on the right, you have an official one. Now, they are very similar. As you can see, the real one, so together, so the back off. They are very similar looking. The one on the left, this one being the fake, doesn't look fake because it actually has the old sticker which the grey KIIs had on the front, so you wouldn't off first hand think that was a fake. However, there is several differences to look for on your meter to see if it's a fake. And one person did ask me, oh, mine's stamped on the back, it's not a fake. Well, actually they're both stamped. The only thing I'd say was possibly different is you can see how one is actually impressed, like it's actually been stamped properly afterwards. The one on the right obviously has been branded properly in, whereas the one looks like it's just been stamped in, because you can actually see the imprint around the edge. Now, whether that means it's a fake or not is another thing, because that isn't one of the things you look for, because they're both stamped exactly the same anyway, and the odd one may have, like I say, the stamp around the edge. So what are the differences? Okay, well, the main difference is, especially with a black meter, is the sticker. The new black KII EMF meters do not have the sticker on the left, this one. They don't have that. They have this one on the right, and it is also a UV reactive sticker. This has been confirmed from KII Enterprises, and this is obviously why I'm giving the information to obviously show the difference between the two meters. So if you have got a fake, and it maybe has got one of them stickers, I mean, maybe there is some fakes what have this sticker on, who knows, but to tell the difference is straight away you open it up. As soon as you open the back, take the back off, let's put that aside a minute, the first thing you see different between the fake and the official, which actually is something you kind of do need for the KII, is just a little piece of sponge. This is actually to stop the battery moving about. Now, to be fair, if you've got a fake, you could possibly put a bit of sponge in there or something, you know, similar. But that is one notable difference between the fake and the real. Whether they've actually tried to put one on this one, I don't know, because there does seem to be a few scratches there, like this has possibly maybe put one on but then took it off or something. But that is the main difference. Other than that, the backs actually look identical, so you wouldn't tell the difference by the back. However, the main bit comes with the circuit board and the battery. The difference between the original or the official and the fake, you can kind of tell that the solder looks better as well. This is something I've noticed quite a bit different between the two as well, which hasn't obviously normally been noted. The official also comes with an ever ready battery, or a well branded battery, whereas the fake actually comes with like a GP supercell, and to be honest, they don't even last half an investigation. They're pretty much rubbish. You might as well, if you've got a fake, you've probably already scrapped it on the first day you got the KII. But the main differences between the meter is on the circuit board is, as you can see, the circuit board has no imprints whatsoever on it. It's just like a basic circuit board as if you'd make at home. And like I say, the solder does seem better on the official, but whether that's just because it's newer, I don't know. But if I show you that and then I compare it now to the official, you'll see that the solder looks a lot more you know, proper soldered, nice quality silver solder. And also the main thing to look for is the stamp. The fake ones do not have a stamp with KII United States of America stamp and the revision number of actually what the board is in there. Now that is one of the main sort of things to look for. However, there's a lot more to look for on it. If yours does happen to be stamped there's a lot more to look for, just to double check. And that comes when you actually take the circuit boards out. When you take the circuit board out of the fake one, the main differences between the official and the fake. The official one actually lead is slightly shorter. Whether that makes a difference or not, I don't know. I wouldn't have thought so, but it is actually a lot shorter. The other thing to look for is obviously a stamp. There is no stamps on there anywhere other than the fact of what, basically where the circuits go, of what transistors and resistors they've used. But the main other two differences is this is black on the official, so the switch, this part is black instead of being grey. But the main notable difference is where the LEDs are. On the official, these LEDs are actually in what I can only describe as like a little plastic pack for them. Instead of being on kind of like straws, they're actually on a plastic pack that goes straight across and they come out of that. Now to show you the difference between the two, I'll see if I can just lay that up just so that it's in the background. There we are. Now when I show you the official one, I honestly think as well the official one is a lot more well made. It just feels, it feels official basically. It feels a lot more sturdier. Maybe that's something to do with the soldering. But if you see the difference there, you can see on the left hand side it has the revision number, it has a proper stamp. Just to show you that closer, you can see the revision number on the left, and you also have at the very bottom, you can see it says KII USA stamped on the opposite side as well. So both the front and the back of the circuit board should be stamped with KII USA and a revision number. If they're not, then that's most likely the giveaway that it's fake. And as I said before, the switch is black, and the top bit where the LEDs aren't on straws. As you can see the difference between the two there, they're not on straws. Now whether on, I have noticed that the grey KIIs, the official ones, this is grey, which holds the LEDs, and the switch may be grey as well. That's obviously to match the external. So just because your switch is grey doesn't necessarily mean it's possibly fake. The main things to look for will be the fact that how the LEDs are put onto that plastic bit at the top, and mainly out of everything, the stamp. If yours isn't, if your circuit board isn't stamped, then you're pretty much guaranteed that it's a fake. The main other notable differences between the two, I'll just put them next to each other. And you can see there side by side, they just look, you know, a lot more. There is a big difference. Okay, the other thing that is different between the two, it's probably quite hard to show on a video, but if you see the one on the right, it's very hard to show this on a video, but the one on the right, the actual external casing is like a matte finish. It's like a very textured, it's quite a nice finish actually, because it's kind of like it's good to hold in your hand, it's like a grip finish, whereas the fake K2 is very, very smooth. It's kind of been glossed off. That is the main difference between the casings, which also is a big giveaway. You can notice this a lot more on the front. There may be a lot of other notable differences between the fakes, and if you went down to absolutely everything and compared everything, there may be even circuit differences. Upon a test, between the two, the official does seem to react maybe a millisecond or two quicker than the fake. However, there's very, very little difference. But if you're using the K2 for paranormal research, make sure you have a genuine one, because if for any reason there's any discrepancies in what you're doing, and you're using a fake one, they're more likely to say, well, you know, possibly that there was something different on that meter. However, if you're stuck with a fake one, it doesn't mean that it's obsolete and you can't use it. It does still react the same as the official. However, if you've got the chance and you're still able to get a refund from the seller you've bought it from, do that. Also report the seller or the person you bought it from to K2 Enterprises. There's a guy called Keith Tupper who'll be happy to take your emails, and I'll supply that at the end of this video, and he'll be happy to basically answer any questions should you wonder if either that your K2 is fake or not. If you have anything, just send your pictures to him, and he'll confirm it. That's what I did. That's how I realised that mine was fake. Luckily I got a refund for mine and was able to buy the official K2. Also in my case, the seller didn't realise they were selling fake ones, which is why they gave me a refund, because I was happy to know that they were selling them, so they've now took them off and become an official K2 seller. However, there is still a lot, and we do see a lot on eBay that are fakes. They may change the external design to make it look official, because it's very hard if you're buying on eBay to say, can I have a look inside, what the components look like, till you actually get the item. So between the two, make sure if you get one of these you get a refund. If you've got one of these, great, you know, play with it as leisure, and do what you will with it. But like I say, between the two, there's very little, I don't think, to be honest. I mean, I've had a good look and I can't see many circuit differences. The resistors are in the same places, and everything. However, the quality of the resistors and the quality of the circuits may be a little slight different. I mean, for example, where the LEDs on, I'd say was more better obviously on the official, simply because they're just being held up by straws, which isn't very good when you especially if the casing got a bit compressed, it may bend them, and LEDs do snap pretty quick if they're under compression. So that's the difference between the two. I'll put them back together just to show you the difference between the glossy finish. As you can see, the circuit there, look, you can see that is a lot shorter than the fake, which does help because there is nowhere to put the rest of the cable, so the shorter it is the better, because once you've put it in that hole there, you've got to then place the battery just in its kind of little, sort of like a dock type thing there, like that. But you see, the shorter cable helps, you're not pushing on your circuit board too much then. You just line the holes up, and like I say, this helps a lot, because if you've got a fake one, you'll find that this is rattling about all the time, which you don't want. So as soon as you push that on, you can see that there's a nice compression between between the layers, which is what you need so that everything stays nicely in place. Let's put that on. That's it. Put the battery that way down. That's This is why obviously the shorter cable is better, because you don't really want to be fiddling around like that too much with a long cable. It's much easier with a short one, because once you do get it right, it goes back nice and neat just like that. Whereas with a long one, you're having to actually kind of put the bit of cable, see how that looks just nice and neat. Whereas the fake one, you can't do that, you have to pretty much put some cable down the side. So if you put that back on, you'll see nice tight fit. Okay. You will also notice this may be a fake or official thing, I'm not sure, but there is actually a screw difference. I'm not sure which one's better, to be honest. I'd probably say screws are better, because they do tend to hold better than the other ones. But between the fake and the official, these are the official ones, which are just like standard screws basically, so if you did lose one of them you could easily replace it. The fake, however, uses kind of like nut screws. They don't go into nuts, but they're not threaded screws. So I mean, the bottom one has become a little bit loose on mine, so it would be better to use a normal screw, and that's probably why they use threaded, because they come loose. So that is also another difference, and also they're actually a bit of a pain in the arse, because the thread on the end isn't a standard. It is kind of like a Phillips crosshead, but if you look at the difference, it's kind of a bit off, and so you have to use kind of a big threaded screwdriver on the end, whereas with this one pretty much any Phillips screwdriver will fit, whereas that one, it's just a bit awkward. I mean, you can see the difference on the ones I use. I use this one to open the fake, whereas I use this one to open up the official, and you can see the thickness difference between the two. I mean, there's a lot of difference thickness in that. I mean, the end especially is a lot more thicker, whereas that one is just your standard screwdriver that you'd find in home. So that is another notable difference. However, I wouldn't say, you know, that means you've got a fake just because your screws are wrong. Look for the stamp on the board. That's the key thing to know. And if you've got a fake, and look for the straws here. That's the key indicator. Look for the build quality. I suppose that's the main thing. The build quality is probably not as good on that as what it is on the original one, because when you do you kind of weigh them next to each other, you kind of do feel a slight weight difference, but it's very, very minimal. Okay, you'll see when I assemble the fake back together, you see how long that cable is. Well, you can see now just by putting it in how much extra is left. So what you kind of have to do, move back a little bit, you kind of have to place it under. Now if you place it under this bit, it will hit your switch, so you have to always make sure you put this in first, and it's always best to do it from the farther one, so you get rid of a little bit of the cable, and then pop that down. Now you can see how fiddly it is having such a long cable. I mean look at that, that's just, I mean, it's a bit ridiculous, that is the amount of cable on there. You can tell that's some sort of China job on there. They've just put as much cable as they wanted. I suppose the other difference is as well, which I've just noticed on the fake, is the official, these two holes here on the official one, when you place the board in, the casing has actually got two things that come up which actually sit in them holes. Now I've just noticed that actually the fake doesn't have them, it only has the top and the bottom, the one down here and this one here. It only has them two, it has nothing that goes into these two holes. So they've obviously copied the board but forgot to actually realise that that's actually there for supports to hold the board in place. So they've obviously rush jobbed that. If I show you on the official one, you can see there's two pieces of plastic there sitting in the two holes, and one at the bottom and one there, which probably makes it feel more sturdier because it's, you know, it can't move. Once it's in it, it just can't move about. So if I place that in, I mean, you can see how fiddly it is. So how quick it took me to do the official one. It's actually a bit of a pain in the arse, to be honest. I'll put it in that one just for the easiness, so we can get it done. Okay, just make sure it comes obviously out the end of all the things. Yeah. Now you can see there's tons of cable there. So the only way you can do it two ways. You can sit the battery on the cable, which you could do, I suppose, but you are compressing the cable. If the back pushes on that, you are pushing down the cable, so you may end up squashing the cables a little bit. The way I do is I just simply put the battery in first, and then I kind of tuck the cables around the edge. It's not the best way, to be honest, but it's the only way because you've got that much cable. The only other way would be to, I suppose, trim the cables down and make a new end, maybe resolder the ends on. However, I'll just leave it as it is. It's not too much of a problem. And then obviously once you put it back on, see how it goes nicely on, but I mean, it's, if you listen, you can hear the battery. I mean, yes, there's no screws holding it in, but I'm holding it with my hand. And then if I show you with the official, put that on, just let me hold it in the same place. Make sure it's nice and snug on there. The only thing you can slightly hear is the top where it's not screwed in there. But if that was down, no, you can't hear anything because the battery is obviously being pushed down by that piece of sponge. Now, to obviously get rid of it on the K2 fake one, just get, you know, a piece of sponge and stick it on there, and then that will do the same effect. It will stop it moving around. Whether it will stop the circuit board though, I don't know, because obviously the circuit board may start to move. But I think it'll pretty much stay still if you just put some sponge on there. However, ideally you don't want a fake one. This is the whole reason why I'm doing this video too. There's probably, as a guess, I went on one auction and the seller had sold over 200 K2s, and I know that seller was selling fakes. So they may not all have been fakes, but I can pretty much guarantee there's probably 200 to 300, probably more, these K2s out there fakes. People thinking they've got an official K2 when actually it's a fake. Don't buy them, even if they are pretty much, I'd say, as accurate as the official, but don't buy them because, I mean, the official seller, the official maker is losing out. They've designed it, they should get the rights to it, and they should get the money to it. It's not fair that some other person comes along and just copies the design and reaps the benefits. It's a nice meter, it's not expensive, so there's no point spending you know, a little bit less, or even the same price. I mean, I paid for this fake one the same price of what I would pay for the original one, so I mean, that was why I didn't know it was fake, because there was no giveaways, other than the fact that, you know, the insides. But if you've never seen a K2 inside, you wouldn't know the difference. So I hope this helps, and like I say, if you do have any queries, you can send them obviously to myself. I'm the lead investigator at Derby Paranormal Investigators, but you're best directing your inquiries to K2 Enterprises in America. Keith Tupper is their CEO, or, you know, the manager of the place. So if you send an email to him with pictures of your K2 inside or the outside, and just say, is it genuine? Although before you send the email in, just check inside for the things I've shown, because that will give you answers before anyway. Okay. The only other thing to show is you'll get an instruction manual with both the K2s. I don't know if these are fake. Obviously, I know this one's official because it came with the official. However, there is no difference between the two other than one is stamped K2 Enterprises on the left and one isn't. Whether that's a difference between a fake and original, I don't know, because it could have been something that was added at a later date. However, these could be easily photocopied or scanned. They're only on a standard piece of paper, standard information. You could scan that in and copy them anyway. So your instruction manual won't show you if it's fake or not. It will look identical. Just look for the stamp. That's the key. Okay. Hope that's helpful for you all. Like I say, if you have any questions, just let me know at the end of this video. Thanks for watching.